have any sheets, but if you'd like to speak, fill one out and stand up, say your piece. Nobody today. All right. So move right on to item number 4. We consider a motion authorizing the 35th Circuit Court to contract with the Michigan Drug Court Grant Program for the period of October 1, 2017 to September 30th, 2018 in the amount of $22,000 and authorize the board chair to execute all necessary documents.
Make that motion.
A motion
I'll support it.
and support.
If they're gonna spend it wisely, so.
Okay,
Good afternoon, folks.
just you're on.
So a little update, there are 3 grants that we'd like you to sign on and let us move forward with. It's a Michigan Drug Court Grant Program of $22,000, the Office of Highway Safety Planning Grant, $75,050. That's for the drug court. And then for our newest program, the Swift Insure program, that's $38,000 approved in grant money, which brings us into our second full year, almost $250,000 in grant money. The second full year, that's fantastic. And so far, our drug court program has produced 3,330 clean days. This is 3,500 clean days. I think that's remarkable. We got 17 participants, we're growing, it's steady, it's great. I encourage the board to assist us to take that next step.
Is it purely a grant, or if there are no matching funds, anything like that?
No, it's all grant. It's all grant. And it's only gonna get better.
Any other questions?
Mr. Chair, if you could put a dollar amount, you said 3,000 some for 3 days. How much do you think you've saved the county by not having those individuals in their jail or sent off to prison? I know it's hard because there's what ifs and.
Well, for every dollar, I would say for every dollar that we spend, we save $3. Every dollar that's spent on the program, so we save $3. So it's hard to quantify exactly how much money the county saves, because what happens is we're not sending folks to prison, which is an average of $43,000 per year per inmate. Take 17 times 43,000, what do you got? That's an astronomical large amount of money that we've saved, left us $250,000.
$500,000.
And the savings too will come at you another way, because 15 of our 17 participants are working full time. They're working in the community, they're spending money at our stores and our businesses, they're paying taxes, they're not committing crimes, they're not utilizing law enforcement resources. So although it's difficult to quantify the savings, it's across the board. There is I can't identify one negative implication for what we're doing with this program. Not one. Not one.
Any other questions? Hearing none, we have a motion and support. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same. Motion moves forward.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. Item number 5. I would consider a motion authorizing the 35th Circuit Court to contract with the Office of Highway Safety Planning Grant for a period of October 1, 2017 to September 30th, 2018 in the amount of $75,050 and authorize the board chair to execute all necessary documents.
Make that motion.
Have a motion and support. Any further discussion? Presenters left, so, but I think we covered it pretty well. All right, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same. The motion moves forward. I would consider a motion to authorize the 35th Circuit Court to contract with Swift Insure Sanctions Probation Program Grant for the period of October 1, 2017 to September 30th, 2018 in the amount of $38,000 and authorize the board chair to execute all necessary documents.
Make that motion.
Motion
Support.
and support. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same. Motion moves forward. I need to start making ayes myself. I would consider a motion appointing Ruth George to the jury board effective immediately to April 23rd, 2023, or until a successor is appointed, and authorize the board chair to execute all necessary documents.
Make that motion.
A motion
Support.
and support. Any further discussion? Do we have Hearing none. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, same. Motion moves forward. I would consider a motion to authorize Shiawassee Central Dispatch to purchase equipment from Zigbix Systems for the dispatch raised consoles desk with cable management and power supply outlets for connectivity, work surfaces, CPU cabinets, storage cabinet, resources cabinets, and stand in the amount of $61,401.90 to be paid from line item 216-325-970.00 and authorize the director, Lieutenant Pamela Batinkoff, to sign all necessary documents.
Make that motion.
We have a motion, and I'll support that. Any discussion? Would you like to elaborate on that a little bit?
Yes.
That was a mouthful.
I was saying that was a mouthful. And it's Zybex. It's
Zybex.
yeah. So right now we are requesting to be able to purchase this equipment right now because we need this set up in time to put the new equipment on it to go live in the new building. It takes at least 6 weeks to get this made and have them come out and set it up for us. So the move date that we're looking at right now is January 2nd. And if we can get it approved this month, then we'll have it on time. Dispatch console equipment is not like a regular desk that anyone uses or anything else. There is cable management, there's CPU cooling units, there's climate controls in there, there's connectivity within the desk consoles themselves that help connect all of the equipment. And this is going to provide us enough space to set up all of the next generation 911 technology that we have and route all these cables through all this cable management and get it set up properly. And if we can do that, then we will be able to make sure everything's set up and hopefully get some testing done ahead of time so that we can make sure it's a smooth move in and, you know, hopefully be able to do this without any major issues. So if we can get things set up and tested and ready, it'll make it a lot smoother to move.
Any questions?
Do you have the handouts you had? 911 meeting, the rate of the pictures?
I thought that was in the packet. I apologize. I can get it for you tomorrow. I do
I just
have,
wanted to make sure everyone's, I mean, I've already seen them, but
okay,
make sure
I have
everyone's-
one if anyone needs to see it, so, and I can get more.
Did you take any other bids? It sounds like high.
Yes, well, it is, but that's the average. We took bids from multiple other ones, Thompson and Shelby. I took bids from Command Watch, Evans, and Data Center Resources. Command Watch and Data Center Resources were more of a jail solution. They didn't have the proper cable management and cooling because the 911 equipment is equipment that is running 24/7. And we have to keep that equipment cool, so it's imperative they have those types of things. And the price, like even Thompson and Shelby, was $60,000 for way less. They didn't have the CPU cabinets or the cooling units. They had no cable management. They had less connectivity.
I guess I don't know what cooling units.
In the cabinets where you put the actual computer towers, I guess would be the best way to put it. They actually have a cooling unit that keeps them cool because they run 24/7. So it actually blows air through there and circulates it and keeps it cool. So
Yeah, no, the old jail too?
yes, yeah, we have, but it's
You
much
can't use
smaller.
none of those, huh?
Well, we're actually going to reuse those. Those are a lot smaller and there's not enough actual real estate on the desk and everything to hold the equipment that we have coming with Next Gen. That was part of the problem. There's just no room for the extra equipment. There's extra CPUs, extra monitors, extra phone sets and things like that. We have to have more room for it. And we have to have more of those computer towers, so we have to have larger computer tower compartments with the cooling system. So we're not able to use it for what we have now, but we are going to reuse it, and we're actually going to save the county a whole lot of money by doing that. One of the stations will pull over into a training area in the news center, which we'll be able to use for online training for the dispatchers, and we'll be able to use for training for the new hires. And then the other two, one of the projects that we have coming up with upgrades would be to upgrade the backup center that we have. If ever we had to evacuate that facility, we have to have some place to go where we can operate fully. And right now, it's a very small area without the proper equipment, and it's very hard to function. So we are going to take the other two, because we only have three, We're gonna take the other two and move them into the backup center so that we can get fully functional there with some other upgrades.
Is the
So-
backup center in the same room where you are now?
No, we have the backup center in a different location where it can be connected to a tower so that
In
if
the
something.
same building?
No, it's not any, it's like south of town.
Oh.
Yeah,
well,
it's
kinda
not even,
secret then, huh?
well,
I
I
mean,
can tell you
I
later.
don't know,
No,
I'm just
it's not.
asking.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
No.
well, that's all right, I didn't know, I thought maybe they had another room in there, it was all.
No,
special
it's a
secret
separate location because if ever we had to evacuate or if something got cut where we couldn't function up here, we need to go to where the tower is so we can function from there because there's a direct connection to that.
Okay,
So there's a reason we
I
need to have it there. But that'll save the county about $45,000 by reusing that equipment and not having to buy new for all that. So,
This obviously is equipment that's critical.
Because I don't know about
your
all that
function.
computer
Right.
stuff, it just sounds way high to me, so.
I mean, you have to have this. This isn't a
Yes.
luxury item. This is
no,
something
it's not a
you-
luxury item.
Any other questions? Hearing none.
We're working on, have you guys seen the total cost to date? That's what we've spent on this project so far. I believe Lieutenant is working on the projected 2018 costs for this building. Because at some point I wanna know what the ending cost is going to be for this building total as to what we were told would be and what it ends up being. I think we're a little off track as to what it was supposed to be and what it's becoming now. So you guys do have the total costs so far, and I anticipate we'll receive 2018.
Yep, I'll have it very soon. I'm working on it right now. I'm trying to get a few more quotes for like the conference table and chairs and stuff. But we also are getting a whole lot of free furniture. So as far as the administrative side of the building, we obtained all free furniture, free desks, free chairs, free everything. So we do not have to pay for any of that for the building. So, and we're working on obtaining a few more free things. Agnew Signing Graphics wants to donate a sign for us, so we don't have to buy that. So,
I'm gonna work on the flagpole, and I wish I need to get the quote from you on that, to get donors for a flagpole and a flag.
Yeah, but flagpole and sign, you know, we're talking $1,000 as much of a concern as the stuff that's 65,000, 17,000, 20,000, you know, $1,000 that we can deal with, you know. A donated sign we can deal with, it's just these additional charges that continue to come in.
You mean you're gonna have a sign out in the building, a big flashing sign that says 911 or not?
But
Not yet.
There's gonna be one.
There's
but it's
gonna be a sign,
donated.
but it's being donated.
So, okay, so the
We don't
original,
even have to have one, why would we wanna know where that is? They're supposed to be hid back there and all concealed, I mean.
Well, we're not really hid. I mean, and folks will come in there to get paperwork like FOIA requests and things like that. So
I
it's,
thought all went to the clerk's office, the place.
no, that I have to take care of FOIAs for
Sheriff's
911
Department stuff.
through the sheriff's office, so it's not exactly hid. But you have to keep in mind also, I know
You mean
that
anybody
the
can
numbers
go in
look
there? I thought it's
awful,
all
I
locked
realize
up, you
that.
can't get
I'm
in.
sorry.
I thought it's all locked up, you can't get in, it's all secured.
There's
Well, it
different-
is. We would have to
there's
buzz
different-
someone in to come in to get FOIA
Security
paperwork
levels.
and stuff.
So there's like the front, which is like the office, welcome center, then there's the next phase, and then the third phase, third section is the one that's like completely locked down.
Mm.
So if I wanna go in and have a bag lunch, I can let me in and have a bag lunch then?
I would let you in
If she
and you could
lets you
have
in.
a bag lunch.
If she lets you in,
Well, that's what I didn't know, I mean, I don't know how secure the place is supposed to, I thought it was supposed to be secure and nobody gets in there, so.
Certain areas there.
Certain areas they can. Plus, we'll have trainings there and things, and the trainings are gonna save us money because if we host a training, we get reduced to free training for our employees. So we'll have different things like that. And I realize
I like
that
to ask questions or know what's going on, this means, so.
that's okay. But I realize numbers look bad and numbers are high, but this equipment is not cheap. And there is a real separation between what we need for the building and the next generation 911 upgrades that we're trying to accomplish. So the equipment is way more than, you know, some of the tables and chairs and things like that. But
Do they have any idea how long something like that lasts? I mean, do they have to get new ones every 4 or 5 years? Is it
The
get
longevity-
outdated or breakdowns or what?
no, the longevity for those consoles is about 15 years. So if you're doing $60,000, your return on investment is about $4,000 a year.
Okay, I just
Any further discussion or question? Okay, hearing none. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same. Motion moves forward. Other agenda items. Anybody?
We, Mr. Chair or Chairman of the Board, we heard about, our guests coming tomorrow. We heard anything?
We sent the letter out today, so no reply yet. No, probably here tomorrow.
And what's that?
We sent it out,
For the front of the court, they haven't come tomorrow.
we sent it out earlier this afternoon, so
Okay.
sure it's been received, but we'll see. It was just requesting that they attend to answer, explain their explanation, I guess.
Any other agenda items?
Well, no, I got something, it goes back to our next item, I hate to keep picking on the 911 building, but let's be mindful and keep an eye on the costs, because we're at 1.1 million right now,
1.1?
which is higher than we wanted to be, so, I mean, we have anticipated costs next year, I mean, 1.1 hasn't even got us moved in yet. So, I mean, we need to be mindful of that, I mean, obviously 911's gonna have the money, and they're gonna have the budget with the new surcharge increase, but I would hate to see the surcharge increase only be used to make this building and to make this grand kingdom over there. You know, I want it to be utilized for services, for training, for the employees, for something on those levels, if we are gonna justify an increase to a surcharge, not strictly to just be our building.
And there's 1.1, so we're all clear.
Don't they dispatch out of there too? So isn't that help out too? Don't the sheriff dispatch out of there, out of the same building? Aren't they using some of it in the back?
Is the sheriff using it?
Yes.
No, the sheriff's using none of that building.
Well, I thought they're using it for dispatch. They were putting some drive or something in there, some doors and stuff in the back for the drive in and
No,
out.
there'd be nowhere to.
That's the impression
So the 1.1 is the building, the computer software,
The new equipment.
the renovation of the
The
building.
purchase of the building, the renovation of the building. and
They still gotta run a
and the
bunch of
new
wires in
equipment.
there yet too?
I believe that they're finishing up on, or already done?
Yeah, that's not.
Done.
So they
Okay,
just gotta,
okay, so-
they just gotta plug them into the computer, is that it?
Well, I think everything was on schedule to our original date up until I think it's the new equipment that's holding us up. The construction on the building is actually, I believe, completed,
Yeah.
completely done. I think
They
it's
sent out
that
some
wiring,
houses.
everything, it's ready to go. It's just this equipment is,
Okay, so
Our
so
holdup currently-
when we talk budget and the initial cost, and you're throwing out these different numbers, when you talk about the initial estimate, that's the initial estimate from when we all took office in January, or is this going back to when the building was
this is gonna be when we went through to purchase the building, when we purchased the equipment.
2016?
Yes.
I know
And,
when you first
and,
come here, I
and
said.
what was that original? Do you remember?
I got the PowerPoints and the books, but
But everything costs more than what we figured, I think, so. I know when they first got
it
here.
did, and we figure it's going to. There's stuff there's errors sometimes that happen. And you plan a little higher, but we're getting to that point where we're higher than even with some, we're not done yet. So it's just be mindful. It's not a bad idea. It's a good facility. It'll be good once it's done. It's just be mindful of what we spend and what we're getting, and hopefully once we get these expensive costs of this new equipment stuff out of the way, it'll kind of level back off and we'll be out of it. But just for now, as a board, just kind of be mindful of where we're at, because unfortunately perception is reality. When it continues to go out there that we purchased a building, we got new equipment, we got our contractor down 200,000, but we're actually up and over higher than the bid they gave us. So I mean, we just need to look at things like that. I mean, really what we did was, we saved no money. So, and things happen in construction, I guess, but we had, well, the biggest thing is we had bad luck with our architect or our consultant. And I think a lesson learned there, that we need to do our due diligence when we find a consultant when it comes to building a building of any, especially of this kind, when there's a lot of expensive parts.
A lot of hidden costs.
So I think that's I think really kind of what hurt us is the firm itself. And, you know, them just saying, oh, well, I didn't know that. Oh, didn't know that either. Well, we paid them to know that, so I think that's where our problems come in, so. That's all I have on that.
Yeah, I know I was here and they first come through, I kind of said we could have them over $1 million and nobody, the whole board thought I was crazy, but things do cost more than what we figured, so. And I figured that would happen. I mean, I'm not blaming everybody, but
Well,
everything costs more than.
you said it'd be over $1 million, you still voted yes, Gary.
I know, but that's what I said, so, that's what I said, so.
But that's all, I mean,
I
it's a
just
good
said,
project,
no,
yeah,
I
it's a
just
good
said-
project, and it'll be good when it's complete, let's just be mindful over.
I just hope everybody did a good job, and so we don't have to
Yeah.
redo things.
Yeah. Okay?
Any other agenda items? Hearing none, we're coming to the second call to the public. Hearing none, I adjourn this meeting.
I didn't move to adjourn. Second.
Don't care. You guys
Second.
don't seem to care about that. I want to do it, you don't want to do it. I did find out that we don't actually have.
And you're going out in November?
I still think.
Yeah, something new going on this year?
Oh,
Well, you guys have been at that for a while, right?
Coming to fruition. Selling ourselves. But there's a lot of stuff that
Where's the salt truck? Okay.
I'll worry about more self. I don't know how software.
Yes, I gotta do that. I have a veteran buddy that's 82 years old. It's a dime.
Years old.
I got the minutes for some reason.
He's an incredible guy.
And then,
I was gonna say, what's under the
And then he's a little
that whole community is broken. They're not getting anywhere near as many applications.
Because, I mean, Tom, I mean, I don't know, ever since I've been here, for the last 7 years, he's always here. I mean, never been. Very well, he's fine. He says he's got a coaching, you know.
Okay, so,
You know, participate in using this, showing you all of them.
I don't know.
Yeah, they go, oh, well, they want to.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
Around 1 year.
So how come you next week?
You want to come back in?
No, what comes next week? You guys are
It's really a tough thing. They still only approves maybe a third structure.
Yeah, I agree.
Wow. So construction is first.
Quick.
Wow. Cool.
Well,
I got that email.
Yeah, we should get in touch with you.
well, because we're
Story on that
did
side.
all that, and
Not yet.
The
and then I could just stay.
basic format.
So then we're going to discuss. I do.
Oh, yeah. I've been there. It's nice.
Where's Larry today?
So she, and I said, you know.
Probably print them out a little bit.
Yeah, we're gonna do these conversations.
That's fine.
You don't look anything like Mike.
Larry's always here.
That's right.
Lots of materials go up.
Yep, I'm on this committee. Me and Mike.
Increase in program. So how you been?
Who's on the
Okay, so I can prepare tonight.
So I'm sorry.
I've already
Mark.
talked to
Where are you from? Our office.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, masonry has problems.
Oh, that same.
They don't need to.
Parcel.
I told them. He's getting ready to mallet me, so.
No. Let's call to order the Health and Human Services Subcommittee meeting. Would everyone please rise? Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call to the public. Okay, item 4. That to consider authorizing the Health Department to contract with Memorial Healthcare for the period of October 1st, 2017 through September 30th, 2018, and authorize Larry Johnson, Health Director, to sign all necessary documents.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Motion is support, discussion. And our Health Director is not here. Anyone have any questions?
This is I do recall this one in our meeting, and this is on an as-needed basis. It isn't it's at a certain rate that they contract with Memorial Healthcare, an hourly rate or a visit rate. That's all I remember about that one.
Is that their thing related to drug court?
Yeah.
The contract for drug testing for Memorial?
I don't believe that.
Okay, hopefully Larry will be here tomorrow, but effort to move this on to the agenda for tomorrow. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 5, consider authorizing the Health Department to contract with Convenient Urgent Care for the period of October 1, 2017 through September 30, 2018, and authorize Larry Johnson, Health Director, to sign all necessary documents.
So moved. Support.
Motion and support. Discussion?
Similar situation, it's as needed.
Okay. And like I said, hopefully Larry will be here tomorrow for further discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 6, consider authorizing the Health Department to contract with the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality in the amount of $33,389 for the period of October 1, 2017 to September 30, 2018, and authorize Larry Johnson, Health Director, to sign all necessary documents.
So moved. I support.
Okay, motion to support, discussion. Okay, similar to item 4 and 5, an effort to get this on the agenda for tomorrow. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Number 7, other agenda items?
Mr. Chairman, I do.
Yes.
Gentlemen, I want to bring to your attention something that I've been talking about with our health director, Larry Johnson. Certain people from Prosecuting Attorney's Office and 35th District Circuit Court. And that's in regards to something that some other counties have gone to, a few, not many yet. And I believe earlier last week, the city of Lansing. And that was to declare opioids a public nuisance. Now, that really is just done so you can lay the foundation for a bigger class action lawsuit against pharmaceutical companies. And I don't necessarily know that that's where I see us going with it, but I certainly don't want to shut any doors. And I would just ask your opinion on whether or not this is something we want to look at the statistics and see if this is even something we're interested in whatsoever. And if we find the statistics show that we are having an opiate problem here in this county, I think even just declaring it a public nuisance shows the public that this is something that we are aware of, something that we are tracking, and something we're ready to help solve. And if there's going to be down the road, you know, obviously Mr. President has declared it a national. Yep. And so if there's going to be federal dollars that may come down the pipeline from this, I don't know. It's real early. But my opinion on the matter is that maybe this is something that we ought to look at the statistics, see what other counties have done, and maybe determine as a board if this is something that we would consider joining. I think many counties are going to be doing this over the next year or so. And for one side, probably would rather be one of the first instead of one of the last. Maybe be on the leading effort of something like this where we could help, even if it's one person, then I think we've done the right thing. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
I don't want to speak for Judge Stewart, but I'm sure if he was here, or if he was still here, he would tell you that it is a crisis in his court. I know he tells us that 80% of his traffic is drug related and most of it is opioid. I guess maybe we should, you and I, set up a meeting with the judge and the prosecutor and the health director, get a little more research, check some legal things.
I would check the stats.
Yeah,
And you need to know if the stats are based on overall cases. How many drug cases do you have? How many incidents with or overdoses? Or is it based on per capita? Because per capita, we have an issue.
yeah.
As far as you look at overall stats, we don't, when Wayne County issues it a nuisance, it's a lot different. When Ingham County issues it a nuisance, it's a lot different. City of Lansing's the same thing. Overall cases that these communities have will far outweigh anything we have in comparison. Now, unless it's based on a per capita, and I'll say per capita, we have a nuisance problem, and we do. But, I mean, that's what we gotta determine, is
You
it,
open to
is
that?
it, is it,
It's not
is it overall case stats, or is it by per
That's right,
capita?
let's look into it, if you guys are open to it, and see where do we stand? Maybe we decide we don't wanna go
Sure,
that route.
Judge Stewart has all those stats. I do
He
recall
does.
one stat that he announced it, and that there is equivalent to enough prescriptions, opioid prescriptions, to give every single individual in the United States with at least one prescription.
Maybe we go down this path, we find out we don't qualify to do something like this.
Oh.
But at least we've looked into
Let's
it,
check
we
into
know we've done our due diligence.
Okay.
That's my-
Let's work on that next week then. Okay, call to the public. With that, we need to.
Wait a minute, for other agenda items, we ought to start thinking on, it's probably very highly unpopular. We need to start thinking about our Veteran Affairs Office, the Veteran Affairs Board, some of the things we want to do. We have 2 positions expiring. We've had some issues that have come up with the board kind of going rogue in a way. I've had quite a few hostile exchanges with some of the board members that aren't up for reappointment, but, I just feel maybe it's best that we, with the 2 positions that are coming up, maybe we look at, as the Health and Human Services Committee, we'll look at maybe starting new. And let's leave people, thank them for their time, but at this point, we're down a director. It's time we do some changing, it's time we do some overhauling, and maybe that'll change public perception of this office and what's going on, and there's some people that feel it's the greatest office, and other people feel it's the worst office, so I know we've been having some issues with outsourcing of services and sending people to Lansing, which, if we're gonna run here and we're gonna have an office, we need to service our people here. We shouldn't be millaging our citizens and requesting more money to just send them to Lansing and to sit on a fund balance. So, I appreciate what they've done. I hate to sit here and say it's bad and then you want to get rid of them, but I appreciate what they've done, but I think it's a new time now, and maybe it's time for a different leadership to take the reins, and kind of as this board has. This is a new board, this is kind of a new direction for the way we want to do things in this county, and it's kind of been set that way, so,
And I think some of that came up when I had my hearings. My report, I just need to kind of get a legal review here before we start passing it out. Some of that stuff was obviously brought up, mentioned. Just the board alone, we have some younger appointments on there, but, what was brought up was the services and what we're facing in the future, especially with the current veterans and the age structure. Maybe we do need some new blood on the board. Maybe we need some younger blood on the board. That, I understand we have a lot of World War II veterans, we have Korean veterans, but first call for it. But we have a lot of new veterans coming off, and it would help if we had some younger people on the board that are going through the same thing or understand that period.
Yeah, only thing I say, if we want new people, we gotta, get them lined up, or we got, it's nice to have new people, we gotta get them lined up.
That happens to be the one
volunteer.
board.
It's the one board. It's the one board that we have. Okay, so how many do we have?
We have trouble getting a lot of people on board, so
I want to say
what
we have 8 or 9.
We had 8 or 9.
That's the one board position, get a
We
lot of
picked 2.
applicants.
Oh, okay, so that's
We picked
good,
Mike
I
Nations.
just wanna make sure that we got, some good.
Well, there was a lot of other, Bagwell, there was a lot of other names on that list that would be good.
But I think this committee, as Health and Human Services, might also want to look at the idea of do you want to institute on our Veterans Board, since our Veterans Board is so highly sought and there's a lot of people that want to get involved? Do you want to continue down the path of just reappointing, or do you want to say some sort of term type of deal? You can't serve more than 2 4-year terms. You can't serve more than 1 4-year term. I mean, because there's always going to be this influx of people that want to be on this board, and I don't know the way to keep it fair. I mean, obviously continuity on a board sometimes is good, but 20 years of it, not always so good. So,
And like I said, I mean, we have as was made clear with the statistics, we have a very large younger group that we're gonna need to provide services for, that's gonna grow explode exponentially. And, you know, and I'm not saying that somebody on the board who's a World War II veteran or Korean veteran doesn't understand, but there may be cases where a peer or a colleague from the same,
We want representatives from every era. You're right, I agree with you, Commissioner Minister.
I don't think we should set a time limit because we're not going to be here a long time, and there's going to be new board members here.
No, that was just
And that was just, and if it's good, they're moving along and everything's smooth and they want to reappoint, that's their prerogative. They want to get some new members at that time, just like we want to do, so.
okay, so
That's just
hopefully,
my opinion, so.
hopefully, so we're in November, hopefully I can have legal review of everything, of the report, present that in December, and obviously that'll cause quite a bit of discussion, because there's a lot of points in there, and things to follow up on, but, so we're looking at appointments to start when, in January?
well,
We'll
we'll be reappointing 2 in December. There's 2 positions already that I believe we've already sent out for, already sent to the service organizations, and so we're already doing that. Now, what the decision might have to be of you guys, if we want to move along with the rest, that would probably have to be a January type appointment. You know, make a decision from your guys' committee, bring it back to the board in December, and kind of decide what you want to do. We'll have 2 positions up at that time, so we're obviously going to see the number of people that are going to apply and their interest, and we'll be able to gauge it then. If we only have 2 people that apply for 2 positions, which won't happen,
Right.
we'll probably get 10. So you'll know those 2 people.
How many's on that board now?
What's that?
How many are currently on that? 7. We do have it completely.
Because we added,
We added 2.
Added to when the law changed here,
they gave the option to
And
increase it.
then we have 5 members that have been there for
ever.
ever, and it's, there was some talk at one time to revamp the entire group.
Not the old board, they want the old guys there, that was the old.
But I mean,
We had a lot of people, new people here, but they didn't want to change none of them, so.
Mr. Chair,
I
I
was
think
here,
it's
so. important
important that we note that, you know, and I agree completely with the board chairman. I think it's time that we look at clearing off a lot of people. A lot of them's been on that board for a number of years. Some of them let their phone ring during meetings.
I'm trying.
You want to work that phone or what?
I think it's important to note, though, this is not some sort of referendum that we think they've done anything wrong. That's why I'm hesitant to link it up with, you know, your findings. This is just something, a new direction that I think that we could go to get more people involved that have been on that board for 20 years. And so I will go ahead and also recommend that we consider, maybe even adding to the agenda today, authorizing the posting of these positions, so we can start the process now, this month, instead of wait, of getting all those new applicants in there.
Posting of what positions? The two
Yeah,
that are becoming.
there's gonna be 2 vacants. Is there
So
already,
there's
there's already posting, okay.
Some of them are required to be put forward by a federally chartered service agency. So we need to let them know.
We do.
I think, I can't remember, some of them are required to be put forward. There's one position that is
The notices to all the service.
not.
Doesn't have to be.
Not, yeah, doesn't have to, but several of them have to be put forward by a federally chartered service agency.
That's
Quick
right.
question, Dan. Last month, as the Veterans Regional Committee had their usual meeting, and this subject came up about the 2 vacancies.
And,
About our two vacancies.
yeah.
Here, okay.
As is, and they came up, the question was asked of all the regional committee is made up all the commanders for every service organization in the county. And they were asked to submit names, says this, for people that were interested in being on the VA committee. And that was an easy dozen names came out of that one meeting. You know, for people that want to be, you know, submit paperwork and be on the committee. So you have a big interest, and we always have had over the years, as there's roughly 10, 12 people every time there's a vacancy. You know, so getting people that want to be on the committee, it's never been a problem. The problem lied elsewhere.
Yeah, we want to make sure sometimes the paper was kind of grouped up and everything, and I was here before, so,
Yeah.
and some of them, so we want to make sure it's all.
So getting veterans to step forward is not a problem, and I think my personal thing is that they need to be. We need to encourage the younger people to get involved in this stuff. And some of the old ones, we don't have any World War II veterans on the committee.
No, the oldest is Korean, right? Which
Well,
would be
but
my gosh.
the older generation is, you know, there's not that many of them around anymore. And if you find one or two that wants to participate, let them, you know. They're not going to be around that long, and a lot of them are concerned with they're not going to live there 4 years. And I'm going, well, you never know, you know. Don't rule yourself out. As if you're willing and capable now, by all means. But in 2 years, you health start problems, then resign. It's not that big a deal, but give them something to get out of bed for. You know? And they are representing a whole different era and mindset than what we have today with the, you know, in Afghan and all that. We need to spread it out and let, you know, the different generations. Because that's what you got coming in, as I was asking for emergency help and everything. You have no idea who's coming through that door or what age group they're in. And it should be somebody that's been there that can say, okay, I understand. You know, work with them. Okay?
Is that your call to public, or do you have something else?
That was it. Okay.
Any other call to public? Okay, with that, meeting adjourned.